All right, Big Bang. Today is Monday. It's March 20th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports, Snake Draft Monday. Today we are joined by Clem and Nate. Clem, we're bringing you on, and it's not a food draft. This is probably the first time that's happened, maybe ever?
I was thinking that. I did do the wrestling themes once upon a time.
True.
Me, Robbie, Brandon Walker, which was like half the Dog Walk was out that week because, not all wrestling guys, obviously.
Yes.
And I don't know if I did another one, but you
Joe's.
guys are finally not using me for my what?
Joe's. I think you did Joe's.
Yes, I did Joe's with Mega
Yeah.
Making Money.
Yeah.
Joe. I won that one, which made me reaffirm that it's not just my stomach and my tongue that you guys are using me for. You guys are using me for my brain as well. So
Yes.
very excited to be here. This is a good one. I'm interested to see the way it goes. This is going to be very interesting, I think, the way this shakes out.
I think so, too. I kicked the ball back and forth about this topic for a while. I was like, is it engaging enough? Is it good enough? I think it is.
Dude,
I think
yes,
there's gonna,
it is.
Well, just because it's, I don't know. Are we that far gone from TV, I feel? In a sense, I think we might be, but that's why.
I don't think so because we left it open to historic channels too, correct? And channels we might not consume personally anymore.
We shouldn't even discuss that type of thing before the draft because when I replied to Eddie last night, I wanted to make sure it was as open-ended as possible. So I'm very curious which way people are going to go.
The way it's interpreted, the way it should be is all time. Okay?
Okay.
So all time.
Yeah, that means there's going to be a lot of nostalgia, and nostalgia always plays not just with us, but with our audience.
Okay.
You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
Yeah. So
Some channels are going to be Albert Pujols and the Angels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
That's a perfect
but-
andralogy.
But if you're drafting Albert Pujols, it's like, give me the whole baseball card. Just don't
Correct.
give me 2000.
okay, so it can be programming from.
Yeah, but we're not drafting shows. They're just channels. So when you take the channel.
so where the particular show lived,
Correct.
counts.
Correct.
You get.
And we don't even have to go. Yeah, we could.
I get
mention the shows,
what
but
you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well
I
that actually does something for me. That clarification does something.
Okay,
for me. Yeah.
good.
You guys, I think we all do this, Nate as well. I think you all think of the graphic at first, right? And I'm like, man, some of these channels look pretty crappy on the graphic. But if you put the right show behind instead of just the logo of the channel, people are like, oh yeah, that is I'm taking me back. Because I don't know about you guys. Before the pandemic hit, I was pretty normal with TV. In the last year or so, I realized I never watch TV. It's basically social media, and I'll dabble with a couple of shows here and there, and then it's just kind of there's so many other ways on the internet to get your content now. The TV never. If I turn the TV on, it's basically because one of my kids is watching. Again, they're watching YouTube, so these things are going to mean nothing in 10 years.
Yeah, that is true. It's sad, but I think this is a appropriate question to ask. What do you guys? I still have cable. Do you guys have cable?
I pay for cable because I hate being on delay for
Same.
live
That's
sport, but-
that's part of the reason I should say.
So I pay an arm and a leg for cable, and I don't watch television shows. There's not a single show that I watch, but I refuse to be behind. Even
you watch live
YouTube
sports
TV,
basically.
I will get YouTube TV when they can figure out the technology to not be 30 seconds.
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah, same.
And at that point, but I pay $260 a month for cable and internet. And
Same.
I watch 2 stations on it.
I will
in this
say
point.
though, there is something about that Comcast remote.
That's
that-
exactly
the
it, too.
Comcast remote. Even if I don't have anything to watch, I love that remote.
The Comcast remote, I could be blindfolded, and I know exactly what button I'm pushing, and that absolutely goes into.
That's another
not-
thing
not
YouTube
changing.
has to figure out.
Should we pivot into a remote draft?
Comcast is 1-1.
There actually was. I think it was Christmas Eve. Someone sent me a picture of his old Comcast
Yeah,
remote.
yeah.
That was a fucking,
Yeah.
it was basically a lightsaber. And at the whole Christmas Eve, I was rating people's remotes. It was kind of actually sick. The dish remote sucks, by the way. But
That remote's horrible.
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
DirecTV, man. That DirecTV remote though, not the current one, but the one before that from maybe 10 years ago. That's my Comcast remote. I never had Comcast in my area, but my DirecTV, it's I have that's the only reason I would have kept DirecTV. I'm YouTube now. I live with the delay. YouTube had a slight delay, or I'm sorry, DirecTV had a slight delay, so I've been living with delays for years. Now it's just a little worse. Just put your phone down and enjoy the game a little bit more. That's kind of my secret.
That has to be actually kind of nice to just be able to do that. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, it forces you to, but you know what? I'm paying $65 a month.
You know what that sounds like? You know what that sounds like to me?
What?
Sounds like he's a guy who just cares about dragons and not the Mets.
Wow.
I actually.
Wow, we're going there. Huh?
Something else just clicked in my brain. all of our teams suck. Who cares if we get our takeoff like rapidly?
First.
No one gives a
It's not-
shit. No
it's-
one's even fucking watching them because they're so bad. Except for the Bears. The Bears are about to be back in a big way.
Mets 101 games. We'll leave that one too.
Bears got a quarterback?
They do.
Oh, you fucker.
The fucking Commanders guy.
Well, the Commanders guy, and I was going to say too. Welcome back, Nate, Mr. Meteor, the great Meteor,
the villain.
Villain, yeah.
Meteor villain of 2021. Welcome back.
Look,
Destroyer of
I
worlds.
thought you simpletons could handle going, outside the box for 1 second, but my bad. I'll stick to the status quo for now on.
I'm happy I'm on with Nate because I personally like that pick, and I don't know if it was made before or after you guys tried to say the Beastie Boys were a boy band. I thought that was an absurd take. Dude, you see the Meteor in Armageddon, you go, this motherfucker's back on my screen. It's a haunting villain. I was Team Nate on that one personally.
Yeah, listen, history might be kind to that. If I go back and listen, maybe I'll be like, maybe we were too hard on Nate, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever do that.
I did take it like second overall though.
Yeah.
That would have been
I also feel like you have to have some malice if you're a villain.
Yeah, that's just
The
like
asteroid is just being an asteroid. He's
Yeah.
just floating through space.
having
Dicking
time of his
around.
life. It's not his fault the fucking Earth happened to be in the same spot at the same time. I was also thinking about this on the note of re-listening to old snake drafts. For the 1000th episode, I was like, man, that's a lot of episodes. And I was kind of jogging my memory a little bit. Our first ever snake draft, it was HBO, right? Draft?
No,
Or Nickelodeon?
it was N64 games.
N64 games. It was something like that. And it was like 15, 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
25 minutes long. And I would like to go because there couldn't have been any debate or anything. It's just like, oh,
It's
there's
pretty quick. LCB does drafts too, and they just like they're pretty
just
rapid fire.
shuffle
Yeah,
through.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We've done 25 minutes on this intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, we could get into the order. The only thing I did want to get into before the draft, and I know this would save it before or in the middle. There is one stipulation where everyone gets one streaming service, and that's it. But you have to take one.
Okay.
How I'm getting hung up on some streaming services are basically the channel. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
That's tough.
I know what you're saying, but streaming is streaming. So it's up to the audience to decide. I think like if you pay for it as a standalone streaming service, I think it counts.
I think so. Do you know what I'm saying in
Yes.
particular?
And then
Oh, this is
there's-
gonna be weird.
There's also, I don't even know if I want to say this because
Some are just both.
One in particular.
Yeah.
I think there's two in particular.
You think so?
Yeah.
There's a few, but one.
And then
is the king of
there's
them.
also like this other little
Let's
wrinkle.
just do the draft over
Yeah.
order
yeah.
and cross that bridge.
Don't
when we
talk
get
too
there.
much. Like follow your heart, follow your brain,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it'll all work itself out.
All right, let's do order. Nate, producer Harry has 1 through 5 behind his back. What number is it?
He has 5.
Yes.
Ooh.
So easy. Do I have to? Fuck, I don't know what number I want though.
Follow your heart, follow your brain. Use your own advice.
Yeah, I know. Facts. I'm gonna take pick number 2.
Okay. Clem, 1 through 4.
3.
No.
Chief.
1.
No.
2.
Yes.
I'll take first.
It's to me, 1 through 3.
God, I'm hoping this works out.
3.
No.
Clem.
2.
No.
I'll go third.
What number was it?
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm locked in today. I've had my coffee. I'm ready to go.
1 or 2 to me.
Oof.
1.
No.
Clem.
2.
4th or 5th.
I will go 4.
It's a dejected man already.
Yeah,
you-
the number game fucks me, man. You guys can sense it. It ruins my whole mood every time we're on this.
I'm just saying I'm 2 for 2. I got it the first time.
Did you?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Clem, you're sunburned as hell, by the way, huh?
Is that the Disney glow?
It's partially Disney glow, and then partially I think I have like the Barstool flag hanging up here. I think it's just reflecting the light on me now too.
Okay.
So a little double doozy.
Where's Mini Clem?
Mini Clem, Mini Clem last night was complaining of his stomach hurting, and I was like, "You motherfucker! I have the dog walk draft tomorrow. I'm gonna have you climbing on my ass all over again." I honestly was like, maybe he read my text message and is like, I want to see the boys in Chicago today, and I thought he was gonna try to and he told me this morning he doesn't want to go to school. Which for people at home that are thinking about having kids, think about if you want to deal with a kid that says he doesn't want to go to school for 18 years of his life. He's been saying that for a year now. So I thought we were going to have it, but luckily I sent his ass in. I'm like, you ain't coming home until at least after this draft. So
Dude, his dad's a blogger. He knows he doesn't need school.
exactly.
That's great.
Nate brings up a fantastic point right there.
Before we get into it, though, we do want to talk about Miller Lite. When you're in the mood for a light beer, you don't want a beer that's light on taste, right? Miller Lite is brewed for people who want their light beer to taste like, well, beer, okay? And with just 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce servings, Miller Lite has more of the flavor you want and less of the stuff you don't. Okay, Miller Lite knows that beer lovers want their light beer to taste like beer. That's why they brew a light beer that's light on calories but not on taste. Because what's the point of having a beer if you can't taste it? Listen, we've been well-documented Miller Lite guys since we've been running these shows. So I'm excited to have some more this weekend. It was just a nice festive weekend watching the NCAA tournament and having some Miller Lites. And it really is, whether it's the winter, the summer, the spring, the fall, Miller Lite is always that dependable flavor that you could always count on. Light beer with the flavor you love tastes like Miller Lite. Go to Miller Lite, get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/redline, or let's be honest, you could pretty much find it anywhere that they sell beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. All right, let's get into the draft. All right, we can get underway. White Sox Dave, lead us off.
Okay, HBO's the clear-cut number one. Some of the greatest TV shows. So I think of it as a channel, not a streaming service. Because that's what it was originally. I'm talking since I've been paying for my own cable and internet. That's what I've always used it as. I know it's shifted from that, and it is its own streaming service now. But it's still a channel at the same time, and that's what it originally was. So that's what I would prefer to take it as. I don't know if that means you can take it twice, but I'm taking it as a TV show. Sunday nights with HBO and Thrones, and even as far back as Sopranos.
Always.
That was the most I've ever bonded with my parents, was watching Sopranos on Sunday nights.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were all happy together.
I think this is the tough one, right?
This is another one, but I could be wrong about this, but I feel like when you watch things on HBO Max, do they still do the
yeah
intro?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't even.
They do.
They do? Okay. Well,
you
then
can
never
also
mind.
hit skip intro
Okay. All right.
on that. But, it's got murderer's row of all-time great TV shows. I'm not even really a Wire fan. I know everybody else is, but like I said, Thrones, Sopranos, The Wire, True Detective Season 1, we won't talk about. 2, 3 was okay.
3 is good.
What do you think, Clem?
So first of all, the static is I would say put that on the graphic as the static with the HBO, because that kind of hammers home you just think
Entourage,
9 o'clock Sunday,
Yeah.
9 o'clock Eastern, Sunday night. And I always say this every time I hear a show is getting that slot. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. I wasn't gonna watch The Last of Us because I'm like a baby. I don't like horror stuff. And Robbie was like, dude, it's at 9 o'clock on Sunday night. I was like, I'm in, you motherfucker. And you know what? It smashed. It was.
Yeah.
It's an awesome show. I love it. And it, like you said, all those different memories. It's like playing quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, or what's even the premier position. I say center field for the Yankees. I don't know if there really is a premier position like that anymore in sports, but whatever it is, HBO 9 o'clock is it, and it's always been awesome. So I would say if we allow the other thing to be drafted, got to throw up the thumbnail of the fucking app,
The purple
and
thing. Yeah.
Which, by the way, did you hear they said they wanted to drop HBO? They said that people don't like the app because it has HBO. I'm like, yo, that's the only reason people are coming back is because of those 3 letters.
That is the worst CEO of all time.
Yes.
To try to bundle, I don't want to say the other one because it's could get drafted.
Oh, we talked about this. Yeah.
We've done such a good job not talking about it.
Yeah. No, that's the all-time dumbest thing I've ever heard. You should just say it now.
Discovery. They wanted to change HBO, get rid of it, and make it Discovery Plus, which is
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I
dumbest
didn't
thing
know
in the
that.
world.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
fireable.
HBO is pristine a brand, I feel like, as there is.
Every once in a while,
Do not fuck with it.
You hear something like that CEO, like they're thinking about this, and it's just like there is a segment of people who are just completely disconnected from their own fan base, and that is an example of that.
Nate, you got anything on HBO?
I think there were two clear-cut 1-1s, and HBO was not one of them.
Wow.
Whoa.
I think that's an absurd
I disagree, but
Interested in what's going to go next. I will say, to Dave's
Now,
point.
for the graphic, HBO will look great, and the other one that I'm thinking of will look great. I've picked number 2. I'm going to take the other one, because if you listen to the draft and not just see it on the graphic, you will agree with me.
okay.
Well, let's hear it,
My
Nathan.
last point about HBO is it's a good pick because we've already done 2 HBO draft just in and of itself. We've done an HBO characters draft and an HBO show draft. We will get to the other ones shows draft at some point. We will do characters at some point, but HBO
HBO's a king.
Yeah. All right, Nate, you're up.
Eddie, you actually said it too. Sorry, Nate. Just because I want to throw this one out there for future Dog Walk drafts, and even if you want to include me in it, I'd be honored. You can almost do an HBO intro/theme song draft because that is almost different than the shows, and they all are fucking. Every show we mention has great intros. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They don't fucking miss on anything.
Aaron Rodgers just announced, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw.
No, did he?
Oh, congrats, boys!
He's gone?
Is he gone?
His intention is to join the Jets.
Let's fucking
Wow.
bang. It's huge.
Oh, my God.
That's huge.
I just had, that relief feeling you get when, like, all anxiety just palpably
melts.
leaves your body. I just got
My
that
kids leave
right
the
there.
house.
I've
I
made it
just got
clear
that
since
feeling.
Friday my intention is to play for the New York Jets.
Holy fuck.
It's over.
He's gone.
He's gone. The big bad wolf is dead. Goliath is slain, Ed.
It doesn't feel real until I see a different quarterback.
I hope Jordan Love is the best quarterback of all time.
You're a fucking cunt.
That can't possibly happen.
Go to
can't.
He's not good, right?
I don't. He might be. I have
He
no
might
idea.
be.
But they can't have like another 20-year run, 15-year run, whatever it is.
They can't keep getting away with that.
Of a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like it's just not right. So I hope that he sucks.
It's crazy. All
Keep
right,
going,
Nate.
boys. I want this clip to go viral in 5 years.
Oh, my God.
Sitting back and listening.
I just want to be on the part of this viral clip.
I know.
Oh,
I mean, you guys couldn't let us enjoy it for 30 seconds.
They have just had their man in waiting. He's just been sitting back and waiting. love it.
By the way, that Eddie bang, he's like, bang. That was so fucking authentic right there. That is a man that's like, it's like when you take your shoes off after a long day. It's
great.
just pure relief, man. I hope for the best for you guys. I truly do.
It's great. All right, Nate, you're up.
So, my pick, and when I was studying last night and going through my spreadsheets and looking up shows, there is one channel that has culturally risen above just being a channel and impacted pop culture and society heads and shoulders more than any other channel and more than any other channel ever will, and that is MTV. Let me read you a list of culturally defining shows that came from MTV's incredible run. TRL, Jersey Shore, Jackass, The Osbournes, Real World, The Challenge, MTV Unplugged, which is its own ginormous thing within itself, Beavis and Butthead, Cribs, Teen Mom, Super Sweet 16, I'm Still Going, Laguna Beach, The Hills, True Life, Making the Video. That Jessica Simpson show was like a cultural phenomenon, and it was just Jessica Simpson being dumb. Catfish. Do you guys remember Singled Out? Incredible show.
Great show.
Robin Big making the band with O-Town together. Pimp My Ride. It goes on and on and on and on. They invented the VJ, it was just Carson Daly. Just if you were a pop or rock or any band and you got onto TRL, you had made it in music. MTV changed society. It's just such a one-of-a-kind phenomenon that changed everybody in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, and nothing will ever get close to it.
I noticed you left out ridiculousness of that rant.
Probably the most played show in television history. Ridiculousness. It's on 24 hours a day.
Okay.
The Video Music Awards, like all the moments from every one of those. MTV is bigger than HBO could ever be.
I think a lot of the function of MTV was that the shows were really watchable without being really good. Does that make sense? It was just corny, but like just like a kind of charming entertainment. But you didn't feel like a personal connection to any of the TV shows. You didn't give a shit about, who got fucking next and next. It was more just like, I'm going to throw this on because it's on.
I cared about the storylines from the Real World back when it was
that is true because I was big in the Real World for a while.
A show like that, putting on, a gay cast member in the early 90s was front page of the newspaper news. It was like stuff like that. Where that's just one show. Jackass. It is a ginormous juggernaut. That's just one show. They have so many of these just one shows. Jersey Shore. Like it goes on and on and on and on and on.
You're making a very compelling argument.
You really are. You really are. Because
I want my MTV is like a top 5 catchphrase of a company's pop, like getting into pop culture in history.
Yeah,
I mean that's from a song though. That's why they used it.
Nope.
It wasn't their catchphrase.
No, it's because MTV wanted people to call their cable network and demand that they show MTV.
I think he's right. I feel like I saw that on like one of those
It's
80s decade shows.
But
for money and for nothing.
Yeah, it's from the Dire Straits song, and he says it in the song, so they probably paid him to use that. It's not like they invented that catchphrase. Is what I'm saying. But
I don't know.
Wait, Dave, hold on. No, I'm not going to let you just make up facts and put it out there. MTV came up with it in 1981 because they wanted people to call it was a marketing campaign. They wanted people to call their cable provider and request that they add MTV to their lineup.
So he says it from them.
It was such a big thing that bands started putting MTV in their songs.
Okay, no,
that whole song was it's like pretty canceled by now, but it was like shitting on Prince.
No, I know, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's Prince was on MTV.
They
all the
changed
time,
the lyrics to it a while back, but yes, you're right.
Clem, you love the pick.
I love the pick. Nate made me like really love the pick. He listed all the shows. I would say there's actually, so I thought there was 2 big shows or channels. I think there's 3 now because I just wrote MTV third. It's definitely right there, and I think you could have went any of the big 3. I imagine the next one will get picked. I mean, we had a podcast about the challenge, and that's like a tier 2, 3, 4. It was a fucking spinoff of the Real World and Road Rules, right? Yeah. It's crazy, and like Nate said, it was almost. I think the reason why MTV resonated with, or kind of like Dave saying, you didn't really care about some of the shows, but it was just different. Like it spoke different than all the other channels. Everything was so stuffy on the other channels. It's kind of like, I don't want to say Barstool is the new MTV or anything, but it's like, I think people like Barstool because it's a refreshing like way to go about sports that a lot of other places don't do, right? Mm-hmm. So the problem is, and this is exactly why I asked you, Eddie, last night. You were like, hey, we're going to do the channels draft. And I said, this is like nostalgic and like old, anything that's ever been on the channel, because MTV now is just, we've seen the schedule. It's just all ridiculous. Yeah. Now, if they want to do Nate dirty, they'll have ridiculousness on the thumbnail. Of the
I hope Ken Jack doesn't do that. That would be
such a scumbag.
I think it should be all
logos.
Move. But
like, even the thing with MTV to me is like the Osbournes. It's such like, you don't even hear about it anymore. I remember vividly being in school when that show premiered, and it changed lives. Like it was appointment television every single week, and that's just like one of 50. And then I think Unplugged is a huge thing that we don't even think about anymore. Yeah. And then just the big moments from award shows like Taylor Swift, Kanye. MTV just it sucks what it's become because it was so. It was blockbuster MTV.
They kind of invented reality TV. Like no one did it better than them. Like the Real World, I feel like was like the first real like boom reality TV, and then they had all the dating shows. They were. Yep. The MTV was great. They had an incredible run.
It's a great pick and even 'Even better arguments. So
Yep.
I appreciate it. Chief, you're up.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Chief, you're up.
I appreciate it. 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 I appreci I didn't think I would be able to get it at 3. And it's like this is so chalky, but it's like don't think just throw. I'm taking ESPN. I've logged more hours with ESPN than probably every other channel combined between live sports and SportsCenter when I was a kid, just on replay, all morning long, getting ready for school. Or in the summer, you would watch, I don't know, 4 hours of SportsCenter. It was the only way to consume anything. All the catchphrases, and then it's like, as time went on, like it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Like they got Monday Night Football, like the ESPN. It's the worldwide leader in sports, and I love sports probably more than anything. So ESPN to me is third overall, is an easy choice.
Yeah, similar thing to MTV. It's pool holes, right?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it's not what it was, but
Yeah.
it still has like you don't like the programming necessarily anymore. Like, no one watches SportsCenter or anything like that.
Yes.
But you're there for all the big games.
Yep.
So
And 30 for 30.
ESPN was the other one. HBO should have been third. ESPN is bigger than HBO and a better pick.
I'm kind of taking live sports out of the equation for this in particular, though.
I don't think you should.
But
You can't.
I mean, we're all going to be watching True TV. I highly doubt that's drafted. Everyone's going to be making the "what channel is True TV" joke this weekend.
It's on my board.
But it's.
I like Forensic Files.
I'm talking about TV shows more than.
I hear you.
Of course, we all watch live sports. We work for a sports company, kind of, sort of, not really. But
I don't think you can take live sports
No,
out
I'm
of
not
it when
saying-
they pay billions upon billions in rights, and that's the number one thing that they have.
I know.
Yeah, can you explain why you should take live sports out of the ESPN?
That's not
equation?
how. I'm not saying you should. I'm saying that I'm not approaching it like that personally.
Why? No,
Because
that's-
it's I have to watch that channel, not I want to watch that channel. I would
But
watch
that-
what
That's
sports
a
are
good
on that
argument,
channel.
I think. Yeah.
I don't get it. The
No.
sports are on that channel, which makes the channel what it is.
No, but you're saying like if they didn't have it,
you wouldn't watch it.
He wouldn't watch it.
You could put a live sports on any channel on the earth. They're starting to put it on
You
streaming
don't-
So
services
that's why
now.
ESPN is ESPN. You wouldn't watch. What? That
But
argument makes no sense.
no. I think that makes sense because they have live sports starting at, let's say, 7:00 at night.
I think it works better.
to your example for HBO, the 9:00 slot. You're watching that TV show because it's on 9:00 slot on Sunday night on HBO. You're watching that live sport because the sport's on that channel, not because the channel is hosting that sport.
HBO endorses that program and puts it in that slot where it's like the sport. You're gonna if for whatever reason.
You're not watching The Last of Us
Listen,
if it's
the
on
argument
True
works
TV.
well if you're talking about antenna channels, which we all know what they are, the
Yeah.
low ones. You're watching those because that's what it's on.
Right.
That's what.
Right.
It's,
Not to say
that's
that
what
it's
you're
not a
trying to
perfect
say.
pick for
It's
third
not
overall.
like I'm gonna watch this game. It must be good because ESPN put it on.
Exactly. That's how you think about like old school MTV, or that's how you currently think about HBO.
Yeah, listen, it's ESPN.
Okay.
I think it's a good pick. I think we're spending too much time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's still ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, could have gone first.
Yeah, I mean, pretty expected one. Who knows the order, but expected 1, 2, 3. Clem, you're up.
Yep, definitely expected 1, 2, 3. All right, so this is where things are going to get a little weird, I think, boys, because I call this. My buddy always says, if you're like, say you're in like a fantasy football draft and you're like set on a guy and then the guy gets snagged, it's like you're in freak mode, and then you walk away being like, I don't know how the fuck I just ended up with this team. I went in freak mode round 1. I'm in freak mode now, but I'm going aim small, miss small. Shout out our guy from the Patriot. I'm going with just a fucking network station here right off the bat. We're going safe. We're going NBC because I started listing out these shows and holy fucking shit. NBC, I mean, I could go with the Nate Dogg here. It's like kind of the more buttoned up version of these MTV shows. But you're starting with, growing up in the 90s, Seinfeld, absolute monster. Friends, I wasn't a big Friends guy, but it was enormous. The
show.
Office is the show we've all watched a billion times, started on NBC. Before my time a little bit, we'll go the RA era. Cheers, Cosby Show, fucking huge. Even growing up for me, Fresh Prince, Saved by the Bell, ER was an absolute beast. Tonight Show, I fuck Jay Leno, but Johnny Carson. Then you had David Letterman getting his feet wet, getting his start on NBC as well. NBA on NBC, best fucking time of the NBA. Play the fucking theme song. It's incredible. Friday Night Lights, Parks and Rec. You get the NFL on there. Chief is watching Notre Dame. Fucking NBC, absolute wagon. And I feel like their news always looks nicer than the other newses. I don't think we're going to be a big news people here, but I feel like NBC, at least in New York, it just looks nicer than the other news stations, which kind of gets my vote for how I watch my news.
I do like the turkey logo.
The peacock.
Or the peacock. Whatever. Yeah, basically the same animal.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's a good call. The peacock plays too. I feel like, is that the only? No, I guess they all kind of have some sort of mascots.
Yeah, CBS has an eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good pick, Clem.
Yeah, I mean, they called it must-see TV. Like, that was like Thursday night NBC was must-see TV. It almost had like the same Sunday night HBO effect for a while, especially in the 90s and in the 2000s, where it was like, hey, like if NBC's putting it on their primetime slot on Thursday, you know it's a big deal. So yeah, I think Clem, if as far as like the big, we'll call it the big three, like antenna channels, I think that's the best one.
Yep.
Seems like it has the most identified roster.
Big
Like
time.
you said,
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live, and all, there is a lot of programs.
We're on
that-
SNL. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even. That's
The Today Show, Tom Brokaw, like NBC, is a really good pick.
Yeah. Interesting, though. I didn't see it going that way, Clem.
I didn't
Neither
either.
Freak mode. Freak mode, boys.
And you blacked out naming off all those shows. Good
Yeah,
job.
Frank the Tanked it.
Good job by you. All right, back to me. Or it's to me for the first time. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go. It's same thing. This is not even, I mean, we wouldn't even know for sure if this is Pujols. I'm going to keep bringing that up the whole show. But it's just you grow out of it. But it's Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Nickelodeon was fucking awesome.
That documentary was so heartwarming. It was one of my favorite documentaries because usually we talked about this. We did a doc review of Nickelodeon on the Dog Walk, like 6 months ago maybe, and I kept expecting to hear about how like the CEO is a complete piece of shit or some way somehow. It was a true feel good story about how it started, how like their business model and how it kind of ended and how it became a global thing. But what a fucking all my best memories ever were just parked in front of the TV watching Rugrats.
If you've never seen it, go watch it. It's called The Orange Years, the Nickelodeon story.
You guys would both love it.
It's awesome.
Quick, too.
Like you could go on. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Stickly was fucking spinning it, letting us know. We really thought it was random. Those fuckers knew it was going to play.
PO Box 963, New York City, New York State, 90108.
Yes. There you go.
Great game shows. You know, with Double
Double Dare.
Dare and
Great.
Legends of the Hidden Temple and
Out.
Global Guts. It was great. So I think it's a worthy first round pick.
I
feel
hit
like
up Big
you might
Cat
get shit for that, but I think it's a great pick.
a few weeks back. I want him to build an aggro crag in the new office, and he's considering it.
Really?
No,
I'll
I made that up right now. But
I mean,
I think
I
that'd
could
be
see
sweet.
that. Big Cat likes fucking guts.
Yeah,
He had that kit on
Yeah.
with the
way
Beer.
back.
What's
yeah,
it called?
Brian Beer.
Brian
Beer.
Beer.
Yeah.
What-
Global Guts.
I love the pick, and the thing is, I watched that documentary. I never heard of it, but you guys obviously did a podcast on it, so I was like, let me check this out. And my wife and I, it's like you're wiping the nostalgia from your fucking face by the end of it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a little older than you guys, or at least some of you guys, and like even the shit that was like maybe a little before your time was fucking tens. And like you said, finding out that everyone that was running it was like just as pure a heart, if not more so, then it's like it's just.
Let me just stop
good
you there.
vibes.
There is a guy, Dan Schneider. You can look him up. Nickelodeon showrunner guy, huge creep ball. So not everybody.
Okay, almost
Almost
everybody.
He didn't make the
it had to be said,
documentary.
you guys are like just like sucking all their dicks,
Yeah.
and it's like this one guy was a bit of a little pedo, so whatever.
Yeah,
Allegedly. I don't
allegedly.
know.
Allegedly.
I don't know that.
We
If
don't
you
know
guys
that.
watch the doc,
Take the
listen to the
blog.
dog walk. What is it? Dog walk? You guys did it on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Like, listen to it because it's like it just feels like you're with friends. You know what I mean? And it's just like a good
Well,
hang, man.
it's like it's like that line from Field of Dreams where the memories were so thick you had to brush them away from your face. So that I love that doc and I love that pick. I think it's a great first round pick.
Yeah, I mean, even like Hey Arnold, like
Yep.
Doug, Rugrats,
So
they all just hit.
I do wish because I was right on the edge of SpongeBob. I didn't watch SpongeBob at all.
Yeah,
And
me
it's
neither.
still a fucking monster show.
I
It's
I
the
know.
it's like
people
the
who are-
memed show.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm with you, Dave. We just missed it, but I feel like I know every important line from the internet.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
how popular it still is to this day.
The people who are going to give me shit, they're under
They're
25.
idiots.
Like,
Oh,
they, you know what I mean?
they
Maybe,
don't-
but
Yeah.
I don't know. They just don't know. But it's,
Yeah, they just won't know.
all right.
But it's a surefire first round pick.
I need one
Yeah.
more. Before I make my second round pick, though, I do want to talk about the GameTime app, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Created by fans for fans, GameTime is a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. To crack the code on how to score last-minute deals, on last-minute tickets, it's all possible with the GameTime app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy. I've had a ton of experience on GameTime. Bought my parents' Eric Clapton tickets, bought Adam Sandler tickets for a friend, and just really any kind of event, like we just said, concert, comedian, sporting event. GameTime's there for you. So the purchase process takes just 2 taps in 10 seconds, and once you buy your tickets, they're delivered directly to your phone. No printer needed. The app also allows you to easily share tickets with friends via text so you can get into the game seamlessly. Skip the hassle and enjoy the moment. Download the GameTime app or go to the website, enter your email, and redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. All right. I'm going to take my... I don't feel right taking the parallel streaming service to Dave's. I don't know. It just doesn't feel wrong.
All right.
So I'm not going to do it.
Integrity. I like
Maybe
it.
it should. Maybe, I don't think anyone should draft it personally because it's so similar. But do you if you want to?
I mean, you can.
They do have some content that's exclusively on there.
Yeah.
And some of it is good.
I'll join you on that vote, Eddie.
Yeah. I think
You know
that
what?
one's the one that's
I'm
too
with you.
similar.
Okay.
Do this for Dave. Number 1 pick. I think he's worthy of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's to me. Again, and I'm gonna go with Giannis. It's the new age superstar. It's Netflix.
Okay.
And I mean, people are gonna say what they want about how it's the path it's going down now. Maybe it's slipping a little bit. So not Giannis, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's still a titan. It's still a pioneer,
But I would say
and
pick-
it changed the game.
totally, and I would say picks 2, 3, 4, 5 have already done what you're afraid of, that Netflix is doing. Like all those picks have already slipped. Like none of those channels that have already been drafted, with the exception, in my opinion, of HBO, have already gone down that path. So I don't think you can get criticism for Netflix
Absolutely.
dragging
No,
a little
it's
bit.
when I'm laying in bed at night. My TV in my bedroom is also broken right now, so I've been passing out. The first thing I do is throw on Netflix, just like out of habit, instinct. On my computer, that is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Clem, anything Netflix?
I'm so old. I remember when Netflix would just fucking mail you the DVDs.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, I'm telling you, my mom was in on 2 things early. Amazon, when it was like a bookstore, and fucking Netflix when it was, in its infancy of all that shit. It's such a beast. I have to admit, though, it's been my New Year's resolution like 3 different years. It's just to be better at Netflix. Like, I missed so much shit. I never watched like Narcos. There's all these shows and movies that I just completely missed out on. I think I'm trying to get better at it, though. But like you said, it's an absolute monster. People are always like, oh, it's getting worse. I'm like, it's still fucking good. I always have shit that I love on there. You know what I mean? So,
Agreed.
and so what are like the big originals? Stranger Things I love Stranger Things. That's like mine. I know Narcos was big. What are the other big Netflix shows?
House of Cards was really
House
big.
of Cards was big.
Cards.
I don't think it's technically an original because it was BBC, but Peaky Blinders to me is like synonymous with Netflix too.
Okay.
I would same with why am I blanking? The Black Mirror is technically BBC,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I affiliate it with Netflix.
I believe Orange
you
is the
got
New
Squid
Black
Game.
was one of the first ones
Squid
to put them on
Squid
the
Game
map.
too.
Squid Game was so fucking entertaining.
Yes.
I don't know if I told this on the pod. My wife went to the doctor and she was having like real bad headaches and shit, and she didn't know what the fuck was going on. And he's like, "Are you watching anything before bed that like really like stresses you out?" And she's like, "Yeah." Like basically the entire time I had this headache was we would watch Squid Game before bed. And the next day after we watched the finale, it just went away. Like that, it just fucks with your brain, man. It's a fucked up show.
These guys made me watch it overnight. I watched it from the entire series in one night because I hadn't started yet, and they're like, "Well, we want to talk about it the next day," and we were recording at like 11. So I watched it, or maybe it was earlier than that. I watched it from like 9 o'clock at night until like 6 in the morning.
I told my wife I think he tweeted it out once, and I told her, I was like, that's worse than making someone do like heroin basically for the entire night. Like that is fucking like your body could not have been in a good place that next morning.
I mean, I've been having sleep troubles, and maybe if I look back further enough, it all started right then.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. You are up, Clem.
All right, again, this isn't how I saw the draft unfolding, but I'm going with it. All right, just gonna make this admission. I'm an old. Everyone knows that. Got kids. Got all the fucking. Got a mortgage. I don't know a lot of my streamings. I barely watch Netflix, so I sure as shit don't watch a lot of the other ones that are gonna get drafted later. I just got to get a streaming on my board. I'm going with what I know. I'm going with what I like. I'm going with what I do at work. I'm going with Disney Plus. I got my Marvel. I got my Star Wars. I got a great catalog. I got fucking the Sims. I got 20th centuries, all their fucking hits from over the years. There's so much shit on Disney Plus that I probably haven't even scratched the surface of. I just like that it's there. It's great for the kids too. We're going to Disney in a couple weeks, so we're just like basically just showing all the old school ones, which were the ones, you know, like Lion King. We even did like Cinderella, Snow White, even the old shit, Pinocchio and stuff like that. It's just if I need something that's like an A, I know I can get it on Disney Plus, and I could 3 clicks, I'm getting something that's a fucking monster no matter what. I don't have to search around too far on Disney Plus to find something. So just got to go with something that I know here, Disney Plus.
Yeah, the quality is very strong. Maybe not the biggest selection because a lot of it's like shorts and stuff like that to appeal to kids, but they're still.
I got Disney Plus. I got a shit ton of stuff, and
I don't know. I feel like when at Netflix and like HBO Go, I'm like overwhelmed by how many fucking scrolls you have to do. This, it's kind of like, all right, you know where the Marvel is, you know where the old classics are, you know where like the fucking JTT movie is. You know,
this is my like Sunday morning. I'm hungover streaming service. Like I'll put on The Simpsons. I'll put on like, you know, maybe like just an old movie, and I that's the only time I watch it. But I feel like Disney Plus has a lot to choose from.
Mm-hmm. Was that the other one people were thinking of that's like a little too similar?
No.
I don't use it. I got it during the pandemic because they put The Simpsons on it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch 1998 episodes of The Simpsons. I watched it one night. I don't think I've ever relogged in. And I still pay for it.
This is one of those things too where it's like I have all of these. I'm just pissing money away.
Oh, I get all these targeted ads for like these apps you can download that it sifts through your checking account and tells you what you pay for that you don't even realize you're paying for. I'm afraid to download them though, because I'm sure I've been paying exorbitant amounts of money for all this shit that I have no idea, like Disney Plus, on top of a million other things.
I think
like
it's a
for
good pick,
$2,
though.
$3 a month or whatever.
I think it's a good pick though, Clem.
I might have to dig deep and like see what else is on there because like I know Disney owns ABC. They probably have all of ABC's old shit. Well, that I guess could be another pick, but I feel like they have so much different like content on there that I don't even know, and all the 20th century shit. And again, like just The Simpsons in itself, having The Simpsons entire catalog. And I don't know if you guys remember this. Back in the day, they used to throw the fucking Disney movies in the vault, so you couldn't buy like Lion King until like they would release it for a couple weeks, and then they throw that shit in the vault, so it would like make you buy it as soon as it came out, knowing you couldn't get like the VHS for it until like they re-released it again. It was some dirty shit. So the fact you just get all this in like a click is like mind-boggling to someone from the 90s.
True.
That's a good point.
I remember that. You would mark like when the Lion King released, you knew when that was coming out. It's like it's coming out on because you couldn't watch it otherwise. It's wild.
The
Chief,
fucking vault.
These fucking kids these days don't
vault.
understand
That
the
would've been
pain
sick.
we went through for this kind of stuff.
Chief, you are up.
All right. I'm taking one that I feel good about, but I feel like people might think it's a reach. I'm taking AMC. Two of my favorite shows ever, Breaking Bad and Mad Men. They always have like the best collection of movies. So if you're like just zoning out, you flip on AMC, you're getting The Godfather, Braveheart, Gladiator, like all those types.
They play the hits. They know, yeah.
Yeah, and so just getting those two shows for me, because I think if I were going to rank my top 3 shows, I think both of those are in it. I'm taking AMC.
I love it.
I'm so fascinated about what happens to them in the future, though, because they've made their
They were pioneers.
They've made their
Yeah.
fruits on like I said, Mad Men, and you didn't even bring up The Walking Dead.
That too.
I didn't watch that one, and I feel like there was one other one too.
I mean,
no, maybe
Better Call Saul, but that's
Yeah.
a spinoff.
Yeah.
But that's like they won 2 titles.
Mm-hmm.
you know, they have a potential to be a dynasty like the Bulls, but are they going to be?
I think that they're probably in trouble because now there's so many places where these shows can live. Like I want to say HBO passed on Mad Men and
Breaking Bad
And Walking Dead, I think.
Okay.
Too.
So now you would think that HBO would just be like, yeah, we'll put it on Max, you know, or like Netflix would be like, yeah, we'll take it. And these start, I think
You bring up a good point.
yeah. So I think their future is going to get murky, but like having those two shows for me, like Mad Men is like one of my most like rewatchable. Like I don't know what it is, but I've rewatched that one probably 4 times in my life. So I'm thrilled to get AMC, but yeah, you're right. There's probably the future.
Where's it going to go? But
Someone
maybe
might
not,
have to
though.
buy
Someone's
it.
smart there clearly to get those shows.
Yeah, but
that
who
the
knows
other
if that
networks
person's even
passed on.
still
So-
there?
Yeah.
AMC to me is the Florida Marlins. Like they have the 2 World Series, but you're still the Florida Marlins. It's like if you want to talk about success, yeah, Mad Men and Breaking Bad, and then Better Call Saul, which was decent, good shows. But I mean, we're talking 3 decades, 3 shows. Well, I never watched Walking Dead. I don't care about that stuff. I know it was popular, but
Fair.
it's a good pick. It's a very quality over quantity pick if we're talking
Totally.
3 shows. But I don't love it in the second round. I don't hate it, but again,
Well, you
if
do
you're
got to take
drafting-
into account those Saturday morning. You're flipping through the channels, nothing's on. Movies that they play, and they play fucking bangers.
They do, and
But there are better movies. There are better channels if you're into that.
I agree, Eddie.
not just flipping through your regular cable though.
That's not.
We can't say channels, but there are.
Yes,
Okay,
there
all
are.
right.
There's some that are right there that you could argue, but I think AMC's in the conversation with those
Here's
other
like
ones.
another argument for AMC versus Nate's MTV pick,
Okay.
where it's like if you're on a desert island, and which one would you rather have access to? Would you rather have access to 2 of the
AMC.
greatest shows of all time, or like
Dude,
mindless
give me 4
dribble?
seasons of Pimp My Ride. Come on.
Fact.
Until Walter White puts a fish tank in somebody's car, I want to watch it.
Fact. Nate,
I was actually wondering if Nate was looking at AMC because I know you watched Breaking Bad a ton of times. It's a. I added him the mix here, and there's so many channels that I think have different, like maybe not as good as shows, but more good, like maybe not great shows, but more good shows. I would almost compare it to like HBO's like LaDainian Tomlinson. AMC is like Priest Holmes. So there was a couple fucking years where you're like, holy shit, these things are Hall of Fame. And then it's just like, but it was not long enough. But I mean, I've never watched Mad Men. It's like one of those shows I feel like it's hard to get into. But Breaking Bad, I mean, I think that might be 1, 2, 3 greatest show of all time.
I think
it's up there.
it's my favorite TV show, bar
it's
none,
up there.
ever.
Yep, me too.
It was a perfect ending, and it's hard to stick a landing in a TV show of that caliber.
Nate, you're up.
I can't believe you guys are letting me get with the channel I'm about to pick. I thought for sure it was going to get taken. Do you know what I'm talking about, Clem?
Well, I'm sure. Hope it's not the one I was going to take instead of Disney Plus.
Definitely is. Comedy Central.
Yeah, I was marking it in for me, Nate. I was praying to God because you and I can talk South Park with the best of them.
I'll just read a quick one. Chappelle Show, South Park, Man Show, Key and Peele, Tough Crowd. A little thing called The Daily Show. Launched Colbert. Launched Michael Scott, Steve Carell. Office reruns my entire childhood or like college years. Tosh.0. Every roast, every Comedy Central presents stand-up special. It is it's up there with me in terms of just like it's like MTV Junior in a way, where if you made it onto Comedy Central as a comedian in its heyday, you had made it. I mean, even like a guy like Jeselnik had a show on there. Sarah Silverman had a show on there. We can go on and on and on and on and on and on. It is a very important channel. Even like Crank Yankers with Corolla and Kimmel, it goes forever. Comedy Central, I'm stunned I got.
Yeah, it's a good pick. It's like a star incubator kind of. Like you get, you start there and then you get your own like huge mega show later. It like launched a ton of people, like you said.
And girls jumping on trampolines. Come on, White Sox Dave.
Nate, I knew he wasn't going to take it. I had a feeling you were, and I'm very upset with you. But
it was actually
it's
on my list. I was between those two.
Perfect.
I thought it was going to be a first round pick, given like this draft. I thought it was that important of a channel to all of our lives.
I had it, I think, in my top 4, and then I just skipped NBC above it, and then I went with the streaming. But I think it's right. I think a lot of the feelings I have about Comedy Central, thinking about the old shows, it's like the same kind of love for like as I have with the MTV, the HBO, and the ESPN, all the nostalgia we talked about. I forgot Chappelle's Show. Like that might have, if I had saw Chappelle's Show, I'd been like, boom, sold. Like just give me that
just
itself.
A little show called Chappelle's Show was on it. Like a little guy named Jon Stewart was on it. It launched comedy personalities like nothing else, I would say.
Yeah, it's
and what
good.
does it do now? It's still I watched South Park on it. I don't know what else they have other
that
than
was
South Park.
that was my point, Clem. I don't even the crazy part about Comedy Central. Obviously, it had its day. I don't even think it's Pujols, dude. I think it's straight up Jacoby Ellsbury, where it's just like nobody knows what happens there anymore.
The way these Viacom channels drop the ball, like
Seriously,
MTV, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, it's kind of stunning that they need those big 3. None of them adjusted to current day life. It's really sad.
It feels like those channels became about like just shareholders. You know, like we're not going to invest in quality programming. We're just gonna we know that we can make X amount of money running ridiculousness or whatever is on Comedy Central, and then fuck it, it's just in our portfolio.
Sadly,
yeah.
I was actually going to say, remember how we said earlier how they wanted to take the HBO name and change it to Discovery Plus, and like that suit didn't care. I feel like the people that ran Comedy Central back in the day were like Nickelodeon, where they got comedy, and that's why they had so much good shit.
Yeah.
Where I don't know what the people these days are doing. Can you imagine if Barstool, if like they threw the rundown on Comedy Central for a week, like, oh wait, they did that, and then they just fucking set us back, they fucking threw us back into the water. Those sons of bitches.
Wait,
Crazy.
Futurama was on Comedy Central also. People love that show.
yeah.
And a little guy called Nathan For You. Yeah, pretty good channel.
Yep. All right, White Sox Dave, you're up again.
So with my 2 picks, I feel like these 2 channels are they go hand in hand. I love them both. For I like to pass out to these channels, but I'm going with the History Channel for my next pick. One of my favorite original programmings ever was The Men Who Built America. Super cool.
Awesome.
I think it's a 4-part series or 6.
Yeah, the original. Well, they've redone it so many times.
They've had
but
spin-offs.
The original one was 4. Yeah.
4, yeah, and it tells you about like all these titans of different industries. Vanderbilt, Rockefeller,
yeah.
blah blah blah. Super
Carnegie.
cool. But like I enjoy that kind of shit. And then the Discovery Channel, you got, which is my next
that
pick.
your next pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got Shark Week. Everybody loves Planet Earth and all the visuals of those nature shows, and I love tuning into those stuff. Pop up 3Chi and just go to Mars and watch some fucking tigers eating gazelles and stuff. So those are my next 2.
I wish I could have drafted that White Sox Dave was going to draft these 2 channels, because I already had them in my head. I'm like, these are going to Dave at some point before they go to me, and they're great picks. I'm not like talking down. I just you're a big history guy and a big nature guy, and I love those things too. I would have been a history teacher if like everyone didn't scare me out of being a teacher when I was young. They're like, you're not going to make any money. So I was like, fuck that. I fucking love going to history class.
Be a
it's like
blogger
story
instead.
time. Yeah, exactly. Just be a smut blogger. And then Discovery, like I could just watch what was it, Planet Earth? One of those came out right as like HDTVs came out.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that was Planet
yes.
Earth. That was Planet
Just
Earth.
post up, and
Yeah.
that's, I think when everyone started experimenting with some drugs, and it's like, this is fucking the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, you took just like 20-year career, 275, 280 hitters, maybe like, hit 320 with 50 doubles. Consistency will always be there for you.
I think
nothing that pops, but
these 2 channels have definite staying power. Not superstars by any means. I said The Men Who Built America, like not many people have seen that. I really enjoyed it. But aside from that, like original programming, it's not something they necessarily do in terms of like acting per se. But you have the mindless daytime TV too, with shit like Pawn Stars.
Well, that's
which
what I
I've
was gonna say, like,
1 million fucking times.
History Channel did a very good job, I think, of coming up with reality TV that fit kind of their brand and mold.
That's why I loved Pawn Stars so much, because whatever these weirdos were bringing into this fucking Vegas pawn shop, you were learning something. some like little fun fact about whatever.
Is the overall quality a little not as strong though? That's
I
what I
think
wonder. Because
history-
sometimes you'll
well-
see it and it's like, I'm not gonna.
I think History Channel has for the type of shows. Like I used to love what was it called, like how it's made or how stuff works or something like that. Like I loved like those kind of like super nerd shows.
Yeah, I do too.
And I feel like the History Channel, probably because there wasn't an audience for it, has kind of moved away from it. So I personally think History Channel's gotten a little weaker. But I do think it's a strong pick. It was definitely on my list.
Which one has like the alien show? Is that history? I feel like history.
Yeah, that is history.
Oh, Ancient
Yeah.
Alien
Ancient
Fridays.
Aliens,
yeah,
yeah.
buddy. Friday marathons. Ancient Aliens is another pop a 3 cheese show and chill out. But it's on, I think it's on for like 15 hours on Fridays.
I just did that like 2 weeks ago. I popped a few 3 cheese and watched like 8 hours of Ancient Aliens. It was on Netflix though, which kind of
I didn't
hurts
know it
my
was on
pick.
Netflix.
It's on one of the
You
streaming
could have just
services.
left that part out.
I know. I like to be an honest guy.
Nate, you're up.
Man, I am going between two right now. I've just been looking back and forth. I am going to stick with what I know. I've gone MTV, I've gone Comedy Central, and I know Clem is going to love this pick, and I know that pervert White Sox Dave is going to love this pick. I'm going with the E Network. E exclamation point. Howard Stern, Wild on E, and
Brooke
Girls
Burke,
Gone
baby.
Wild infomercials
Yep.
was every young man's nirvana. I have VHS tapes buried somewhere of just that block of Howard Stern Show, Wild on E, Girls Gone Wild infomercials. And boy, did I ruin a lot of socks. It was just the
Jesus.
greatest block of television for young Barstool Nate. And I would assume young Dave Williams.
Everybody.
Not just me. We were all taking part in that. Like, we've said it a few times now, like jokingly, but not really jokingly at the same time. Like, kids these days don't know what we had to struggle growing up in the
Pixelated
90s.
tits.
Pixelated tits on HBO that you didn't pay for, but you still had access to the channel. It just
The
it
squiggles.
Had the
Yeah.
squiggles.
Thinking back to what they showed on, like, when they showed the Howard Stern Show, it would set like wars today.
What was
I'm
it called?
sure
The
did back
Sibian
then,
or whatever?
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody
it
was riding the
crazy
Sibian
what they
either.
showed. And I was like 12, 13 years old. It was just, boy, did that influence my life and how I ended up here. But then they also have stuff like E! True Hollywood Story, which I know was like pretty well respected. And then current day.
You know
the
what you're
Kardashians.
doing. Yeah, Nate, you're just fucking appealing to the Kardashian crowd.
I'd be
the
lying
Chicago
if I
Dog Walk has a big Kardashian crowd. Okay.
I
The
watch the
internet does.
Kardashians.
The
Internet
main-
does.
the
The
main
voting
account,
the voting
yeah.
public does.
I mean, the Kardashians are a juggernaut, and they just happen to be on the E channel.
Yeah, see, but is it strong enough throughout? You know,
Girls
like-
Next Door with Holly Madison.
Yeah,
man?
that's
That's
True.
true too.
It's a good one.
I mean, every red carpet was on the E channel. It's a strong channel. The nightly show they did, is Entertainment Night? No, like E News. Every
Talk
night
Soup. That was
Talk
another one.
Soup.
Talk Soup.
probably was the original Barstool Talk Soup. Yeah, pretty good channel.
Chelsea lately.
Banger.
I think I've said this in a lot of vlogs. I think like all of us when we ended up stumbling on E After Dark, like that was like the beginning of our origin story to become Barstool bloggers. Like that, we all had to go through that rite of passage to end up where we are right now.
It was the E channel and the Blink-182 live album when they have all the dick jokes at the very end of it. My parents let me get that, and I was like, all right, well, good luck ever getting me to pay attention in school. And here I am.
Chief, you were up.
Take something stupid, Chief. You won't.
He did that sigh.
He did the stupid side.
I know.
Yeah.
And then he gave
no.
the
You can see the shit-eating grin.
Yep.
Chief, did you have cable growing up?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have a couple friends who didn't have cable growing up, and I feel like with the no sugar allowed in the house, like cable is part of like the.
We had sugar.
content
It just
version.
wasn't like sugar cereals or like, and then my mom like made all the cookies. We didn't have like store bought cookies. So
Were you locked in a cage for a couple of years?
No. I would just go out in the wood. We lived in the middle of nowhere. I would just go out in the woods with a dog for like 8 hours like that because we had like no neighborhood kids. So I just like,
I didn't know that.
come on,
I didn't
Murph.
know you were
Yeah.
rural chief.
Oh, very rural. Yeah. And there was like a pond and like we had this like, it wasn't our property, but like the way our whatever, it doesn't matter. But like there was just nothing behind us for like 6 miles. So I just go in the woods, like literally just hang out in the woods and like explore.
How the fuck did you guys have cable if you're in this no man's land in the 90s?
I mean, it was the 90s. There was technology and shit. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Technology
They
and
had
shit.
copper wiring and all kinds of stuff. It was cool. Electricity.
It would be
Just-
funny if Chief thought he had cable and he just didn't have cable.
I'm between two streaming services. I'll just go Amazon Prime. I feel like that I watch that one more, but I also watch that one more because that's what carries Mad Men. But I like The Marvelous Miss Maisel. I feel like they have a lot of good like original movies and other programming. They also have a treasure trove of documentaries about fucking everything. So I definitely, of the streaming services, I probably go in terms of time using it, Netflix 1, Prime 2. So I'll take Amazon Prime as my streaming service.
Have you watched The Boys?
I haven't, but I've heard it's very good.
Because I recall in Villains Draft, I took Homelander, who is the villain in The Boys, and you hadn't watched it. So I was wondering if you have watched it. Very good show.
Yeah, people do say that. Yeah.
The only thing that bothers me is that I just feel like it should be better. Like they have unlimited money.
Yeah.
Like, at least in my brain they do. It should
I'm with
be.
you.
They should be
That's
cooking
my biggest.
more.
I 100% agree.
I never go to it, even though every time I do, I'm like, actually, because documentaries are my jam. I always forget that it's loaded. It just doesn't do a good job of saying, "Hey, we're awesome at this as well."
Yeah.
Yep.
I do feel like they've done like a bunch of really good movies though. Like they like Big Sick was from them. The movie with Adam Driver where he's like investigating.
Wait, does that count though? Because that was in theaters.
Yeah, but it's an Amazon Prime.
Studios.
Yeah, it's Amazon Prime original, and then they do a theater release, just like how All's Quiet on the Western
It's
Front.
Amazon Studios, but it's not Amazon Prime.
I'm pretty sure you like for Netflix, you could see El Camino in theaters. In the same
I
way.
was gonna say All Quiet on the Western Front. It was in theaters. It was like a limited release, so they're eligible for awards because that's like a stipulation typically.
Okay.
But it's like
So
you
have
have to be able to watch it. You have to have Prime.
Okay.
Clem, you hate the pick?
No, I like the pick. This is another one that I have to get better at Prime. I have Prime. We got Prime, no big deal. We're a household that got Prime last year, which has turned we get Amazon packages every day. It's fucking addicting once you become a Prime member.
Dude, it's so
But I
bad.
have it, and I love documentaries, so now I'm gonna go fuck around and find some good documentaries. Two things. One, The Boys. You guys, I'm a big nerd. The Boys is like maybe my favorite current nerdy comic booky thing on right now. It's so fucking good. I can't stress enough. If anyone is like on the fence, just watch the first episode and you're gonna be fucking hooked. And then they have football, which I think does make it helps the pick because you have to have football. But like Eddie said, I wanted more from them. When you can start a whole new football like presentation, and I have the guys from Dude Perfect on one channel, which I'm sure does numbers because people love it. But it's like I just felt like they could have done something with like a better crew, or I don't know. It's like I just feel like there's more on the table, but it's also hasn't been around that long. I feel like they could probably turn the corner. They had Lord of the Rings, which I know probably crushed, so I feel like they're gonna just keep growing.
I feel like
I was gonna say they funneled $1 billion into Lord of the Rings. I don't know anybody who watched it.
Well, I'd never watched the movies, or read the books, so I wasn't inclined to do that. But I think that there's a clear one. I was trying to just be like, hey, like this is the one I watched the most, so I took it, and I need a streaming service. So, but I like Prime.
I'm shocked you didn't take a different one, but we'll talk about it later.
Okay, all right.
Clem.
All right, so this one I was kind of on the fence about. I didn't know if Chief was going to look at it here. I don't know if it'll make it back from Eddie, and I don't know because there's a bunch of good fucking shows, and it's kind of I don't want to say the competitor to AMC, but it's like It's right there in terms of they're around the same. I think they're just near each other in the numbers for me. It's FX.
Yeah,
FX has some fucking monster shows. So I was just doing a quick little thing here. I get scared looking stuff up during the dog walk draft because I think I'm on the dozen where you even like look at your computer, you're gonna get
Cheater.
So It's Always Sunny, Sons of Anarchy, Fargo, which I love, Justified, The Americans, The Shield, Atlanta, American Horror Story. I'm just going to rattle off all these things because I've only watched some of them, but I know like either I've watched them and loved them or I haven't watched them and everyone loves them. Rescue Me, The League, Nip Tuck, like just an absolute fucking just whirlwind of awesome shows. And they're in the movie game. You'll get some Fox movies on there as well. So I feel like FX is kind of a different, like, I don't know, I guess it's the Fox version of AMC and maybe doesn't have a Breaking Bad, but it has a shitload of like tier 1 to tier 2 shows that can just keep coming.
I think
I'll disagree with what you just said.
I think Always.
It has a Breaking Bad. It's called It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
I think
that's fair.
I think Always
That's
Sunny
why
is
I
a top
think-
5
sorry to
all-time
poo-poo.
sitcom.
I think that's why AMC was such a bad pick, is because FX was still available.
Oh,
I just
see,
didn't say it at the time.
I'd rather have Mad Men and Breaking Bad than Always Sunny.
Okay.
But I love Always Sunny. It's a top 5 sitcom ever. Like I love Always Sunny.
Smart move, Clem. ZD no ZD. That was going to be in the wraparound. So nice grab. Yeah, a lot of good shows, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of good shows on FX. They do it a little different too. They got a little bite to them, and I appreciate that.
I have one complaint about FX.
What's that?
I feel like when you land on a movie on FX, they got commercials every other minute.
Every 2 minutes.
I don't know why like the viewing experience, because I'll do the thing where it's like I love this movie, I'll watch it through the commercial. That's like 30 seconds when I land on an FX movie.
Yep. I feel like they pump their own shows a lot during those commercials. I've seen the commercial for Legion 8 billion times. I've never even thought about watching. I think it might even be like a fucking comic book thing too. But I'm just like, nope, I'm out. So you said it perfect, Ed. It's like it's AMC, but a little spicy. There's a little extra fucking pepper on this one. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So
You're right.
And The Bear, I think The Bear is on FX, right?
Yeah,
You're right,
I liked
you're
that
right.
show.
Yeah,
I thought that was a good show.
I like that show. Yeah.
It takes place in Chicago.
It does, yeah.
I haven't never watched it.
It was good. I was late to it because I thought
I'm still finishing it up.
I was like hesitant to watch it because like all the commercials and the ads I saw for it, I'm like, you guys are laying the Chicago shit on a little thick for me. But it was good. It was a good show.
Kevin actually said that about The Boys. I remember when The Boys, they plastered their ads on Barstool years ago, and they did it so much. I'm like, this show can't be that good if they're just promoting it.
If they're advertising with us.
Exactly. And it's like my favorite show on TV when it's out. It's crazy. And there was I saw the Barstool Chicago logo in the background of one of the scenes. So
Yeah. People sent it.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Okay, to me, I'm gonna go with the Food Network.
It's a good pick.
Good pick, Ed.
Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, so many good things there. Man vs. Food. Basically, it's
Man
a guy.
vs. Food's awesome.
It's a Guy Fieri channel now, almost.
Yeah.
You know, Guy's Grocery Games. He's got Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I know, Nate, I know you love Chopped.
Chopped. One of the best reality / whatever competition shows to ever exist. Yeah.
I fucking hate Chopped.
Huh. You're a simpleton.
No, I'm not. It's like, let's chop up some fucking mushroom and mix it with old Skittles and rotten bananas and make a bread out of it. Like
You're thinking of Cutthroat Kitchen. That's a bad show.
No, they always. It's like make
Chopped
something.
is like elite chefs.
Yeah, but they're making things that no one would ever want to eat. There's a Top Chef is a much better cooking show than Chopped sucks. Chopped sucks. I hate it.
You're comparing apples and peanut butter. Like,
yeah, but if you put Chopped, if there was a restaurant based upon what food items were made on Chopped, it'd be out of business in a week.
But it's not a restaurant. It's a reality cooking
Yeah, it stinks.
competition.
It stinks. You should make food that people want to eat.
What else is on Food Network? Because I've dabbled in it a little bit.
Oh, fucking everything. Anything that has food, it's like, you know, it's plastered all over. It makes people want to go places. It's just a great channel.
The one show I know from Food Network is actually when my wife was talking to me about it a couple of days ago, and she pitched a show that I should do with Eddie and KFC. So I'm going to pitch you live on the Dog Walk, Eddie.
Oh, hey.
It's a great show on Food Network that I absolutely loved. And, a lot of people don't know about it. I think we actually talked about it, and I don't remember if you knew about it. It's a little show called Unwrapped with our guy Mark Summers. And he used to go to all the little places, and he'd learn how, like, Reese's peanut butter cups were made. And it was like you get 3 foods an episode, and he'd hit, like, a lot of the big spots. And I'm like, we should almost like redo that with Barstool, the Barstool version of it. I got my fucking snacking off guy with Kevin. I got my snack partner on ZD with Eddie. And we go around, we fucking meet some people. We fucking, I want to go to see Boar's Head. I want to do their cold cuts.
Oh,
we go to
that'd be
Cape
awesome.
Cod Chips. Like, right? Isn't there a market for that?
Yeah.
I feel like there
Yeah.
is. So.
We did a
I loved Unwrapped.
We
by
do
the
need
way.
people to review food at Barstool.
Yes.
Huge gap for that.
No, but we went to like a seafood factory and did a video there 2 or 3 years ago. Shout out Johnny Stramaglia and Supreme Lobster. It was like a really cool day, and like you see like the big tunas come in. He slices you a piece of like sashimi like right off the fish, and you eat it. It was like I think there is, to your point, Clem. I think you guys should see if you could do something like that.
Yeah, Mark Summers, obviously he's the Double Dare guy, but I almost remember him close to Unwrapped because I liked that show so much. It was fascinating.
Quick shout out to Emeril Lagasse, who put Food Network,
Oh, yeah.
on the radar. Just bam, changed the world.
Bam. All right, I need one more. I'm gonna follow up Clem too. One of the first, one of the antenna channels. I'm gonna go CBS. CBS is Survivor. It is Big Brother. It's very strong in the reality space because of them. Game show wise, it has The Price is Right. It has the most iconic sound maybe for a TV show with 60 Minutes. There's a lot going on CBS.
You ever watched an episode of 60 Minutes?
I have. Not many. I remember I watched
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody has a
But
little
everybody
bit by
knows it.
default.
Everybody
If
knows
you
it.
leave a channel on
Yeah.
after the late game on
Yeah.
on Sunday, yeah.
I think CBS is solid.
Well, I mean, you left out the Masters, you left out SEC on CBS, the college, the tournament.
It's all the sports that goes along with it, of course.
Yep. So it's a good pick.
Fourth
I
rounder.
Love Lucy, Big Bang Theory. Pretty good show.
Shout out Trent. So yeah, CBS. Clem, you're up.
Okay, so this one, I could maybe wait till the 5th round for this one, but if I don't have it on my graphic, it's gonna break my heart. So I don't know if anyone's gonna snag it on the way back. It's you don't watch it a lot. No one watches it. You can't. You just can't watch a lot. It's a seasonal thing. But I'm telling you, this channel probably has more tweets about it every single year than any other channel because people get fucking hyped. And it's a little channel called the Red Zone Channel. We're going NFL, and people. I didn't know if it was even on people's radars. I thought of it right before the draft. I was like, oh fuck, I forgot about the Red Zone Channel. But just having that on, and if you're a 2 TV house like I am, you throw your team on one TV, Red Zone on the other. I can't do Red Zone as my main anymore. It's like using,
I agree.
It's like basically throwing like the iced tea mix into your mouth instead of putting it in water. Like football needs a little bit of a fucking story to be told. But just having that thing, and then when they're going to the other game and your fantasy guy is, oh, we're gonna go to Chicago. I'm like, I got Justin Fields, let's rock. And he pulls off an 80-yard run. You're going crazy. The fact that you can just watch basically any good game you want as long as there's shit happening is just it changed the game. And I still remember the first time I saw Red Zone Channel. Never go back. So I had to have it on the graphic, Red Zone Channel.
I didn't even think to put it on my graphic.
Outside the box genius.
Yep.
Here, Clem.
That's a really good pick, Clem.
Clem, take a bow. Take
Yeah.
a goddamn bow. That is. What can we say? That's a great pick, man. That is.
I would have gone on the way back though.
Damn.
So now I gotta hope my other stuff doesn't get taken.
Fuck.
That is. That's about as good as a late round pick as you'll ever see.
Yeah.
I almost took it in like the first round because I didn't know if Eddie would take it in the wraparound on the way back. And there is a difference, obviously, if you're a Siciliano guy or you're a Hanson guy. But I mean, a lot of the complaining you have about that, it's like you're complaining about like a blowjob. It's good no matter what.
Siciliano's out,
Yeah.
right?
They just got rid of that channel.
Okay.
He's not out specifically, but
Okay.
there were 2 Red Zone channels. That one that he was on is no longer. Great brain today, Clem. Keep that brain for the ZD tournament.
Yeah, we're
All
gonna
right.
need that.
So now that look at I'm rattled by that pick. That pick was
Yeah.
so, like having to follow that up.
Yeah.
It's almost like it scared me for a second, and it's almost liberating because now I feel like I can fully just chief myself because I don't think I'm not having a strong draft if I'm being honest. I love HGTV. I love HGTV. Give me House Hunters marathons, House Hunters International, and it's all like the when they redesign, you know, like I'm not good at like that kind of like handyman stuff. So like watching other people like, oh, like we're gonna take this shitbox place and turn it into something beautiful. It gives me like hope that I could do that to my house someday. So I'll take HGTV and take the slings and arrows. But I genuinely do love HGTV.
That's all my dad watches. I refuse to even watch television with him because I just cannot fucking stand that television station.
Really?
I cannot
I
stand
like it. I like it.
cannot stand it.
And they
I'm
have
like, change it to something entertaining, please.
I mean, we could just go upstairs and watch them do construction work on the dentist's office.
Yeah.
no
I'm
Windy
surprised.
City Rehab with our girl, the Chicago-based one. That's just good programming. That's just good programming where she goes in, she finds some place in Ukrainian village, and then just completely guts it and flips it for
She
double
can
the
come
money.
do that to my house right now.
Oh, she might.
I would let her.
She loves
have
us.
Yeah.
I remember you talking
Yeah.
about her. I've never watched a
Yeah,
show,
no, it's a good show.
but I just cannot stand that station.
Yeah, and look I know I'm not making it on the poll this week, so I'll just be. I'm gonna.
Dude, that was presumptuous. I thought you were right there.
Yeah,
Oh.
I definitely thought you were right there.
Well,
Look at ESPN at 3, dude.
Yeah, dude, you have ESPN. Like,
I know, but the way you got, I don't know. I'm looking at other
Well,
people's
now you're
boards.
definitely not going to be there.
I don't
That's
know.
fine.
Maybe.
You're not dead to me.
Okay, we'll see.
But we'll see.
I apologize, Chief. I feel like the rest of your day you're just not going to try because the Red Zone channel just fucking put you in a coffin.
No, it
Like,
did.
I
It was
apologize.
like I was on skates, but I do like, again, if it's one of those things, my next one I know won't get picked is going to be kind of the same sort of
Same vein.
situation. But it was like, oh well, that just put an ice pick in my heart, so I'll just do what I want.
I will say this as a longtime listener to the Dog Walk. There is something like great when you hear Chief and you could just feel the freeness of his voice. He's like, guys, I don't get. When you don't care and you just make your Chief picks, you feel
Yeah.
so at ease, and it kind of makes me at ease. It's just a very good feeling. So HGTV, Home and Garden TV, I believe is what it stands for. Which
I don't
Good thing
even
they
know,
shortened
to
it
be
up.
honest.
I
with
thought
you.
it was Home and Garden.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think it is.
The other thing that I enter the contest every year, which they have like the HGTV Dream House, which it's like a spectacular house, and I think it's on New Year's Day every year they put out the episode where it's like in Vermont or Utah or some like beautiful beach somewhere, and then you could just enter to win a house, and you could enter to win every day until they do it. I think they release the results in April. I will enter like probably legitimately 30% of days between January 1 and April. I haven't really done it this year because I don't think I liked the house that much. So fuck that free house. But yeah, I think it's like a good, like, I don't have to like really pay attention. It's like kind of background noise, and I think it's great.
It's a great background noise channel. Is that with Chip and Joanna or whatever their names are?
Chip and Joanna Gaines. I know their name just from seeing commercials. I actually haven't watched that show specifically.
Jeff D. Lowe's
They're-
burning feud with them.
Does he?
He is I love these people. They're like my favorite people on the earth. I'm in love with them. I like that's like couples goals or whatever, relationship goals.
There's
They're up
the
there.
other couple that got divorced. It was like a reno. It was like a real estate guy and like the woman who was like interior designer. They got divorced but didn't cancel the show.
Oh,
they
really?
still
for them.
they still do the show even though they got
That's awesome.
good for them. They got divorced.
Well, they kept the show. Keep
Yeah.
the show business, baby. You know, keep
Yeah.
it moving.
Fixer
Nate,
Upper is a great show, man. You got my vote for just because of the Fixer Upper, man. I
All right.
love those people.
Am I up?
yep, you're up, Nate.
All right, fellas. I am going to go with my 4th round pick, a channel called Showtime. Billions, Homeland, Shameless, Californication, Weeds, Dexter, Ray Donovan. They don't miss. It's not to the level of HBO, some would say, but I do believe if you put a show like Dexter on HBO, people would talk about it as one of those HBO legendary shows. I think Showtime gets a bad rap because it's not called HBO, but I think a lot of their shows, if they were just on a different network, people would talk about in that type of way. And I do think a show like Shameless and Californication and Homeland really do go toe to toe with any of those HBO shows. They do. There's no denying it. And then you got all the movies too. So I think Showtime, if HBO is king, Showtime is queen. You know, pretty good network.
I think that's fine to say, but to say that those shows go with Breaking Bad, or not Breaking Bad, Sopranos, The Wire, Game of Thrones, like that's just, even if you don't like those shows, that's just incorrect because those shows are like infinitely more popular than anything.
People talked about Dexter on Monday mornings the same way people talked about any of those shows. Dexter was a juggernaut.
Not to the same magnitude.
Not-
but your point remains. I do
If
think
it was
it's-
on,
it's-
okay.
There's like 4 of them that hover around that range. People probably know the other 2 I'm talking about, and it's number 2 for sure. So I think it's good value in the 4th.
It's
round.
definitely it's definitely number 2.
Number
Yeah.
2 of that category for sure.
Yeah, so I think it's good value, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easily the number 2 of that type. And when you look down the roster of shows, I didn't name all of them. You'll go, oh, that was on Showtime. That was on Showtime. That was on Showtime. I mean, Weeds, they do a pretty good job over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. They do a pretty good job.
I
think that's a great way to put it.
it was the redhead guy from Band of Brothers who's on
Dick Winters.
what's his
last
name?
name Williams, I'm pretty sure.
He's on.
Even like Yellow Jackets has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I've never heard of that. But like Billions is like fine. You know, like it was watchable, and same thing with when
Shout
he
out
was
Steve Cohen.
what?
Shout out Steve Cohen. It's based on
Yeah,
my
yeah.
baseball and who I love.
But it's one of those ones where I like just stopped watching before the end of it. Like I got like 2 or 3 seasons in, I'm like, and I don't know. That's how I kind of feel about all those Showtime shows. Is that I don't care how they end.
I feel like the execs at Showtime were like, we have to figure out a way to fucking like get people to associate us with HBO, and I think that's why. Remember, like SHO, they just started doing
Yeah,
SHO,
yeah.
and they're like, we're 3 letters just like the other guys, man. Basically
We're
the same
one
thing.
letter
We have
off.
lots of shows, too.
We're one letter off. Yeah.
You're thinking of Damian Lewis.
Yes, Damian Lewis. Yeah.
White Sox Dave.
I need a streaming service. I'm going to go with Hulu because that's basically all I can go with because the other ones that haven't been taken yet, I just have never watched. It's fine. That's
It's
pretty
fine.
much what it is.
This
got-
is the one.
it's-
This is the one I'm very surprised you didn't go with.
Why is that?
Dope Sick alone was fucking unbelievable.
Dope Sick was
I
great.
never watched it.
Go
I'm
watch
just talking
Dope Sick.
I got Hulu last summer specifically to watch Always Sunny because I'd never watched Always Sunny, and I spent countless hours on Hulu last summer watching that show, binging it.
They do a great job on documentaries. They fucking they went punch for punch with Netflix on their Firefest one about Billy. Like that was a no
Yeah.
strings attached. Whatever the fuck, friends with benefits type move. They came out so close to each other.
Yeah. Maybe I should have.
I'm stunned you didn't go with Hulu.
I forgot about Dope Sick. And I love that. I
I know.
made you watch that show.
I know, and
Yeah.
I fucking loved it too.
Yeah.
Dope Sick's awesome if you've never seen it. Good pick, Dave.
Yeah, good pick. And it's also now that all the services on this.
Wait, no, Nate hasn't. Nate doesn't have
No.
one.
For the thing I want to say is the bundle, the Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus bundle is
It's nice.
fantastic, and it's like that to me is like it's like great value. And then like you don't have to. One of my problems with like going and like totally streaming is having to like switch apps all the time. Where if you're in Hulu and you want to be like, you don't have to leave the app to watch to check in on a hockey game, you know. And I think that's like a nice little perk.
All right, Dave. You need a
Thank
fifth
you. I
rounder.
didn't even think of saying that, but that is a nice little perk.
Yeah. Here to help,
Where do I want to go?
unless I'm trying to help myself.
All right, I'm going to go with Fox. I'm going to go with Fox specifically because of the reruns for the most part. Growing up, you had Simpsons backed up by Seinfeld. I loved King of the Hill. Obviously, they have live sports. It's Fox. You know, it's a staple of the antenna channels.
Family
I remember
Guy.
when Fox was the
Yeah,
bad
Family
boy
Guy.
new-
Family Guy's fucking hilarious.
Family Guy. I remember when Fox was like the new kid on the block, the bad boy. Like they didn't play by the
Cops.
rules and all that shit. And yeah, Cops. Simpsons was like its centerpiece. They got the NFL, which shook up network TV. I had Fox as my number 2, just because like I thought NBC had all those things. But growing up, we were like a Fox household, fucking Married with Children.
Married with Children. Yeah.
As I talk this out, this is definitely a White Sox Dave channel. Like,
I mean, why is that a White Sox Dave channel?
Playoff baseball.
Yeah, playoff
There's,
baseball, of course, but like I'm talking, I was like after. I'm 34 now, so I'm after Christina Applegate and Al Bundy and all them. But I did watch the reruns, and it's just a fantastic show. Like, I talk about my touchdowns in high school like he did at Polk High, even though I'd never seen a live episode. But Simpsons, of course, we all grew up on The Simpsons.
Yep.
It's a staple of everyone in our ballpark ages.
You said Seinfeld?
Yeah, and then Seinfeld's my number one sitcom ever. Yeah. So
good pick.
I also, the Kelly Bundy, you wanted to have sex with Kelly Bundy as your sister. That's why I said it.
No, I asked if it would be weird to draft her as my sister, considering my whole life I've wanted to bang her, which is a fair question.
And then we said yes, and you went ahead and drafted her anyways.
I didn't care. I wanted Kelly Bundy on my show.
That's very.
And her and Bud Bundy's relationship is like the funniest thing on fucking earth.
What
is he doing, you think, these days? Is he still in show business at all? Bud? I don't even know his name.
He's hanging around somewhere, I'm sure.
Hope he's
all
doing
right,
well.
Nate, you need a streaming service.
I sure do, my friend. And I am going with a really good one that I think I was surprised wasn't taken because it's my main one right now, and it's called Peacock. They have Premier League. They have all of WWE's entire catalog. They have originals, which are coming up in the game. I don't know if you guys have watched Poker Face, but it's quite good. Bel Air was very popular. They have a little show called The Office, Parks and Rec, 30 Rock, all of that stuff. All of NBC's catalog, basically. And it's really, really good. I spend more time on Peacock now than I spend on any other streaming service.
I'm stunned to hear that, Nate.
I got it just for Premier League.
Do you?
Yeah.
I watch a lot of Parks and Rec.
Do you? Something about the interface. I don't know. Something about it is not. I think it is the clunkiest interface of the ones drafted. Maybe.
I don't think
Hulu is by far the worst.
I think Hulu is clunkier.
Hulu has the most. It has lag, and it's not practical. But I'm saying like the way it's set up and how
I use Peacock.
Works.
I use Peacock every weekend because my team is never going to be like one of the Premier League teams. So I find it fine,
decent.
Yeah.
And what I like about Peacock is, even if it's on TV, like the NFL, it's also streaming on Peacock. So the Olympics, the NFL, Premier League, World Cup, blah, blah, Notre Dame football, Chief, ever heard of it? So it's all on Peacock as well, which is really, really smart because, people our age, cord cutters, blah, 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 blah. I think Peacock, if we come back to this draft next year, it'll be like, whoa, how did we sleep on Peacock so much?
Well, that is my one giant gripe with Notre Dame and Peacock. Is the last 2 years? I think it's only been around 2 years, something like that, right? They've been putting one game a year exclusively on Peacock.
Smart.
It drives me fucking insane because I like, as soon as there's a commercial, I'm clicking over to ESPN, CBS, blah, 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 and having to juggle remotes. You can't get over the game. You can't just hit the last button or the guide to get to, or the C button. The C button on the Comcast remote is fucking legendary.
It is.
That drives me. It almost makes me hate Peacock now that you reminded me that Notre Dame puts one game a year on there because that is so
being a network
fucking
that
annoying.
streams a sports game exclusively online. That would be crazy.
But like you said, though, Nate,
that.
I would like to compliment their catalog once again because it is very strong. Like,
Yeah.
they gobbled WWE, they got Premier League. They did a really good job filling it out. Whereas that's something Amazon Prime should have done.
No joke, the fact that they have all WWE and all the live pay-per-views. Think about when you were a kid and you wanted to order WrestleMania and it was $59.99.
Yeah.
It's just on Peacock for $9.99 a month.
Yeah.
It's pretty good value.
It is. All right, Chief.
All right, I think Dave might be the only other person in the room who watches this channel with any regularity.
AHC.
AHC.
I watch it almost every fucking night.
American Heroes channel. It is what the History Channel used to be. They have, to me, the best history documentaries.
It's so fucking good.
Apocalypse World War I is probably my single favorite history documentary series. It's like a 5-part thing on World War I. It's fantastic. It is. I don't do it to fall asleep. I don't know how you fall asleep with like bombs
because I like
going off.
English guys narrating things.
Yeah, but they also they
shout
have
out
like
David Attenborough.
Yeah, but like the air raid sirens and the bombs and bullets going off doesn't do it for me. But it is. I think they do a fantastic job of gobbling up the audience and the eyeballs that
Clem,
History Channel used to have.
You want to say sorry to this guy, Clem, or what?
fucking read so fucking Chris Hansen sends
No,
us the cards and he
look at. I
fucking
have it written
daggers
down.
me.
I was gonna take it. Like I love that channel. So, just not everybody can just get off to pixelated tits all day long. They have to have a little
All
bit
right.
something extra.
AHC,
It's
good job by you,
the
Chief.
only. I didn't even put it on my list because no one fucking watches it.
This is one of those ones where I like want. I know no one watches it,
Yeah.
and I want people to be like, "Hey, I wonder if I have that channel. I'm gonna check it out."
It's
And then thank me. Like, I'm gonna get like 4 people that will tweet me
Yeah,
over the next
you will.
year, and I'll be like, "You're welcome." And I'll
I'm
make
gonna
me feel
even
good.
thank you for kind of giving it the light it deserves because
Yeah.
it is just fan fucking tastic.
Yeah.
It's,
If you're a nerd, you'll like it.
I actually am happy that it's like I'm gonna check it out because again I love history. I'm happy it was brought up. Do you think if I Google AHC that'll be the first result, or will it be something?
I don't know.
I would say
Clem.
probably not. There's nothing that pops in.
Should we run the experiment right
Yeah.
now?
Affordable housing.
No, it is the first thing that pops up for me.
But that
Nice.
also Google knows what you're looking for too. Like it'll autofill based on past
me?
searches. Well, it does for me. So like I'm searching best TV channels of all time.
All
It'll
right,
know
well,
of
the,
all
the,
time.
The second result is a word that I can't even say. Hemiplegia.
Alternating hemiplegia of childhood foundation.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that
not
is.
great.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, it's the first hit, but
Yeah.
like I don't think many people are really thinking of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All right,
it's-
AHC off the
it's a-
board. I don't think we
Yeah, we don't spend a lot of time on
Yeah,
it.
we don't like.
But, in November, if you're watching some, JFK or World War I stuff, shoot me a tweet. You're welcome.
Clem, you're up.
All right, Chief said pixelated tits, so we're gonna go back to pixelated tits. I thought Nate was taking this with E, but we're gonna just scratch that nostalgia itch right now and get it done. And I have 2 I could go with, but I'm going with the Spice Channel. We never heard of it. Basically, it was at its glorious time in the sun. I think I watched the Spice Channel actually saw it for like maybe 20 minutes of my entire life. It was always in like the pixelated, squishy, couldn't really see. Oh, there's a nipple, and you're just trying to get those fucking hormones, just trying to satisfy them. And it's just as much a part of like the growing up life in the 90s as anything else. So I don't know what happened to Spice, if it's still on TV, if it's a website, if it's a fucking Instagram. I don't know what they're doing, if OnlyFans just ate it. But Spice was a legitimate part of growing up back in the 90s, as Kevin says, the greatest generation.
The things we would do for a nipple was just unbelievable.
Now they're just fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
They lost the luster. Like tits are walking, or chicks
Nah.
are walking around their tits out, like saying "free the nipple."
They,
They've basically been freed. I need to work for that nipple.
they haven't lost their luster.
Nah, they haven't.
Yeah, they're still.
I mean, they haven't, but we went through a lot to see them that the kids younger than us didn't.
yeah, but if you saw a girl walking down the street,
It doesn't matter if she's 400 fucking pounds. I'm looking at that nipple. Nipples and nipples and nipples and nipple. That kind of is true for like a nutsack too. If I saw a guy walking down the street naked, I'm checking out the
no,
nutsack.
but you're still like if you see a hot girl walking down the street with a low cut something, you're still gonna get
I'm
as
visualizing
excited.
her
yeah,
naked.
yeah, it's nice.
I'm
We need a
undressing
quote
her
card.
in my mind.
We need a quote card where it's Dave's face. It just says nipple is a nipple is a nipple is a nipple.
I don't segregate against nips.
If you had the black box, this was it. Channel 73. You'll never forget that one. That was Spice Channel, dude.
It was 97 here.
Hey,
And,
hey, Clem. Marianne did not let us have the Spice Channel. I promise you that.
okay.
You didn't have
That
the
does
choice.
check.
I don't know if I was the E for the pixelated Girls Gone Wild kind of shit. Not
So
obviously.
you didn't have
pixelated.
E, so you had pixelated.
No,
E.
no. That's not what I mean.
Oh, two
I
different
never.
things.
If
Yeah.
I was looking for that, like
Oh,
Girls
okay.
Gone Wild infomercials, I wasn't going to Spice. I was going to E. I don't know
Well-
if I've ever one time for 1 second watched Spice. I might be
I'll-
a hair too young for it.
I'll let you guys in on like a little personal stuff here. Like I'd be on E, Jenna Jameson just pops on Howard Stern, they go to commercial, the fucking Girls Gone Wild, and I'm just like, I gotta do something about this. I have another like 2 minutes commercial break. And then I'm just going over to 97. There was all the different ways, Eddie, I'm sure you know, it's like you hit up and down on the channel real quick, you might be able to get something. If you had a good friend, he'd call you, and because again, you couldn't text or email or anything, he'd call you, be like, dude, Spice is like it's unscrambled, like and it would just appear like crystal clear for like 2 minutes. You're like, all right, let's fucking get to work here. We have stuff we have to get done. That's just how it was. Just channel 97. And again, the other one, I guess I can give it away if Eddie takes it. But Playboy was a good channel, but it was like a little softcore. Or Spice, you were getting anything your fucking mind could desire within reason, because it was the 90s. It wouldn't hit all the fetishes that I'm sure people have now. It was a game changer, man.
It's a good pick, Clem. Spice Channel was legendary for many young boys. All right, to me, Mr. Irrelevant. Kind of tough now. I'm just going to take another power, another Titan. I'm going to take TNT.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Good, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yep.
You know, great sports coverage right now. They got hockey now. They got the NBA, the NCAA tournament. And it's just kind of, are they the one, or is it TBS that runs the Christmas Story rerun?
I don't
it's
think either
TBS.
one of them do it anymore.
No.
It used to be TBS.
Yeah.
I think they might have switched to Elf.
No,
But maybe I
really?
could be making that up.
I don't know. Regardless. All right, then we could just do the honorable mentions. I think everyone kind of knows them, right? Is there anyone wants to shout out in particular?
BET. I wasn't allowed to watch MTV for a couple years as a child, but my parents didn't know BET existed, so I watched BET instead. Fox News, #1 leader in news. And I was surprised, I guess, because Clem ruined it for all of us. NFL Network is kind of a big channel I thought someone was going to take.
They have the best, like, original programming of the 4 sport channels, I would say.
And I would not have been shocked or upset if someone took ESPN2.
Yeah, see, I was going to be
It
pissed
is-
if someone tried to take, like, HBO2, because I thought that would have been bullshit.
Yeah, ESPN2
ESPN2
is
is
completely
complete- yeah.
different.
It
Yeah.
is. So I'm glad.
Definitely.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Nat Geo, Animal Planet for the nature.
I think Animal Planet kind of sucks compared to the other ones. Travel Channel, I used to love Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations. That was on there. They've had some other good shows. So, but that's about it.
Freeform.
Freeform's good.
Clem?
Perfect. Stumble upon it. Watch this movie channel.
Get horny watching Lion King.
That's
Clem,
not me.
anything?
Real quick,
Nala's the horny one. I'm pointing out that she's horny.
Nobody took Bravo, which it's the only relevant cable channel right now. It's all you hear about. Everybody's wife, girlfriend, whatever watches it. I'm glad nobody tried to pander with Bravo.
Top Chef is on Bravo, and it is awesome.
But like all that Vanderpump and Below Deck and stuff, I know
Yeah.
none of us care about it, but
Yeah.
that could have been a pander pick, and none of us did it. So
Shout out Joe Flem, Top Chef champion.
You got anything, Clem?
Men of honor here. That's when they see these 5 faces, everyone says those are honorable men right there. TV, I guess you said TBS, which I think TNT pre-streaming would have been so much higher, because like Shawshank was like a fucking
Yeah.
you get Jurassic Park and all that.
That's on
those
AMC
kind of
now,
things.
though.
Did AMC
Okay.
get? Yeah, it did get picked. I was gonna say.
I had 3 that are a little off the beaten path. I didn't know how much everything was going to get drafted. One was if you had the black box, the pay-per-view channel, which was 23 and 24. Like, just, it's like you had wrestling fucking pay-per-view there. You get your boxing. Like, there's a lot of good memories made on those channels back in the day. I mean, or I guess if you spent the $60 or whatever it may be. When there was something special when, like, your parents called up and, like, I'd like to buy, you know, the Tyson fight tonight. And then once it came in, you're like, oh, fuck, we're in for a fucking ride. The Weather Channel, I'm an old man. I love my weather. So just being able to know if we're going to get a little snowstorm here.
Oh wait, am I crazy? Did your parents put on the Weather Channel as like background music for what we were so poor?
What was it, the
but,
local on
they
the
would
8s,
put on
right?
The Weather Channel and just play it for guests.
Local on the 8s, yeah.
Yeah, it would tell you that your local weather every 10 minutes on the 8 o'clock. And for a minute, that was like, you couldn't just fire up your phone or fire up your computer. Like, you had to wait there for that 10 minutes if you just missed a local because you needed to see the weather.
Yeah, it was the worst.
I think they do have original programming too. Or they got into it for a minute, right?
Yeah, they went heavy into it. I think it has to be done now.
It's
though.
got to be, right?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Like, weather people are like, dude, I need you guys for fucking weather. Like, don't, because then ESPN, you want the highlights, and then it was ESPN News. Then ESPN News started getting its own shit. You're like, where can I just find Sports Center right now for 20 minutes? So I imagine, like, I know
Twitter.
my dad, Papa Clem,
Yeah.
is obsessed with the Weather Channel. And, like, to the point my mom makes fun of him about, like, he would just keep it on in the background, basically, to listen to the music.
We would make fun of my dad for the same fucking thing.
And the last one, this is kind of an old school pick, but we all needed it. It was an important thing, man. That guide, you needed that fucking guide channel.
Oh.
Oh,
up
yeah.
on MTV.
I didn't even think of
I
that.
had it on my
Yeah.
list.
Was it
Guide
Channel 4? Out
watching
here?
it raise up, but they still had programming in the top little thing. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of the most. Oh, it was so good. You just watch it
guy.
scroll and scroll and scroll.
And,
that was
and like,
good.
if you missed the channel you were looking
Like,
to see what it was on
fuck.
for, fuck, and you had
Yeah.
to wait the 5 minutes, and it was like time was crawling to
Yeah.
wait to get it back to.
It was almost like when you're
Yeah.
trying to see if your school had a snow day. It was scrolling
Right,
across the
right.
bottom of the
Same
screen.
thing,
You're like,
same thing.
fuck, I missed it.
I'll blow through mine really quick. Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, but that's kind of Disney Plus. IFC's sneaky, pretty solid.
IFC is very good. Yes.
Yeah.
Game Show Network, Paramount, PBS. I was good as a kid.
Have we done a game show draft?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Spike, Sci-Fi, True TV, USA, VH1, WGN,
VH1's.
and Paramount Plus is not bad either for a streaming service. That was the last streaming
Paramount.
service on my board.
Well, I like the Yellowstone spinoffs, and they're all
Yes,
on there.
they got new
I-
episodes of The Challenge with old cast members. That's nice.
I
too.
want to like that show so bad, and I really do. I finished it.
I think 1923 is better than Yellowstone so far.
Wow.
it's fucking corny though.
It gets like they
It-
should. Well, we'll
All
talk
right,
about
let's
it
do
off
the
camera.
yeah. Let's
Yeah.
do the kill box here, and we'll get out of here. White Sox Dave, HBO, History Channel, Discovery Channel, Hulu, Fox, Nate, MTV, Comedy Central, E Network, Showtime, Peacock, Chief, ESPN, AMC, Amazon Prime, HGTV, AHC, Clem, NBC, Disney Plus, FX, Red Zone Channel, Spice Channel, Eddie, Nickelodeon, Netflix, Food Network, CBS, TNT. All right, everyone, write theirs down.
I'm prepared.
I think Chief might vote for himself. I think.
I've done that before, but I'm not doing it today.
Nate, what do you got?
Chief.
Clem? Chief. Oh, he voted for
I
Nate.
voted for Nate.
Wow.
I'd rather watch my shit than Nate's shit.
Okay.
So vote
Chiefs
for
are
Nate.
on. Nate, strong return. I thought you did well, Nate. So good job. I thought your board
Nate
is
came with like the facts and figures
Yes.
and had like those
I mean,
little soliloquies off the top.
I'm not just saying this. I should win this draft. I have the best-
Sometimes you get that feeling. I knew last week that I won that draft. Is that out yet?
No, the votes are still tallying. People are hitting the polls.
No
still.
one's gonna fucking beat me though.
No, I don't think
won that
so.
draft. I'm up.
The polls
When
are
you're
gone.
listening to this, it'll be
I think
done.
Clem's got a good board too, though. I like mine too. It was hard late to get good stuff.
Yeah, I don't love the Fox pick. I was surprised nobody went USA. I think people like those shows. I don't know who watched. It's like the Aziz bit. Like Harris watches Burn Notice. I don't know who watches those shows, but they are very popular.
True.
And they have Law and Order too. I know people. There's like a cult for Law and Order.
True.
Yeah.
And when they were like Raw is War was huge back in the day, and that was on there. That was like everyone. I think me, you, and Eddie at least were watching that every fucking Monday night, and it wasn't changing for 2 hours straight.
Yeah.
Also, I have one other streaming service I forgot about, Eddie. You kind of rattled it out of my brain though, with the challenge. Pluto TV. Have you guys ever fucked around with Pluto TV at all?
I think I have it as like an extension of Comcast or something, but I can't say that I've ever.
I don't know what that is.
So
don't think
it's
I do
like
either.
I don't know what they have in terms of originals, but they have a couple channels. Like they have a challenge channel. They have like a Jersey Shore channel. They have all these like old shows, and it'll just be nothing but old challenges, right? And they also take like a commercial break, and it just tricks your brain into just watching the fucking shows, and it's like crack, man, and you could just watch it for hours. So if there's any shows you love, and you just want to go back in time and feel like you're actually watching it again,
a good
Pluto
spot.
TV was like an awesome one that I loved.
Gotta check that out.
And you know what? Apple TV, very new, but they are hitting at a high rate with Ted Lasso, Shrinking, and Severance.
Yeah, it seems like they're
I've
getting a
only
little
seen
stronger.
Lasso. I think Lasso's out. I mean, and the new season just dropped on the 15th. We're recording this on the 15th, so
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Clem, thank you as always. Great performance.
Can't wait to be back. Can't wait to
Give
be
it up for
back.
Clem.
Give it up for Clem.
Thanks, guys.
Zingus.
Give it up for Clem. Give it up for Nate. Give it up for you. That's it, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. We will see you then.